What's up, guys?
Hey!
This is We Used to Be Married.
The inaugural first episode of our podcast.
Yep.
It's a story of two hot-ass college kids who dated
dated
again,
broke up again,
had a baby,
got married,
got divorced, and
we're still friends.
Come along for the ride.
How did we do it? I don't
Don't you
know.
want to know?
I would want to know.
Absolutely. Someone could have warned us about all the troubles that we're going to run into. But we're fine.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
I don't have a drinking problem.
It's fine. I'm totally stable, working through everything in therapy right now.
Oh my God.
So it's
that's
great.
So great. Yeah. So
Wait, my name's Andy.
Oh, that's right. Our names are very important. My name is Jin.
Yep.
And
we have a son.
Yeah. Who is 12 years old. And so that's kind of an interesting thing to be co-parents and still be young and hot.
So that's also one of the reasons I still have to talk to this guy.
Yeah, because I'm young and hot.
No, because we have a kid together.
But
not that young anymore.
Absolutely not. But I feel young at heart. So
okay.
Yeah. So when did we meet?
We met in
2003. That's our time traveling noise.
2003.
2003. Yeah.
We were both super brown, dark tan, because I was just surfing every single day.
No sunblock, sunblock, because I was 21. I didn't give a shit about sunblock. And you just went to Hawaii?
Yeah, with my family. The only time I've ever been to Hawaii.
Like, she did not stop talking about Hawaii for the first, I don't know, like month that we met.
I'm never going to the beach here because the Hawaii waters
I'm like, bitch, you live in San Diego now? And she was talking smack about San Diego beaches so much. It's fine. So yeah, we got hired. Mm-hmm. Oh God, this is so silly. The both of us, I mean, she's very responsible now. I'm pseudo responsible. I was able to keep a child alive for the first few years of his life. And we got hired as resident advisors on the campus of an unnamed university in San Diego in California. And yeah, we met as trainees at the RA program. Mm-hmm. Right. And then we hit it off because we were both very brown and we wanted to talk about how brown we were. And
no, that's not why.
Okay, that's not why.
It was because Napoleon Dynamite had just come out and we were sitting in a meeting and all of a sudden you said my lips hurt real bad.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, you watch Napoleon Dynamite. He's probably pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we wouldn't stop quoting from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, and then we'd start hanging out all the time. And then like one day, I don't know, like sparks flew or something, and in the form of her crying on my bathroom floor about her dad passing away. Sorry,
to be fair,
I
was drunk.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a lightweight, and he was like, "Try this blue stuff."
Oh God, yeah, it was Alizé.
No, it was Hurricane.
Oh, it was Hurricane.
Or Bacardi Hurricane.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
It's like mixed drink already. You're like, it's good, drink it. I'm like, okay. And it hit me really hard. I was laughing at one point, and the next I was bawling on the bathroom floor because my dad had just passed away.
Yeah, it was like the year before. But yeah, and somehow that was interesting to me. I said, she's damaged.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
I didn't consciously think that. I just, looking back now and like where my headspace was at, like I'm like, oh crap, I was like, you know, ready to involve myself in all kinds of stuff because that's what I needed in my life. I wanted chaos. I loved chaos at that point. Yeah, so we dated and then we broke up and we dated and then
on and off and on and off.
Oh my God, yeah. But I met her family. I don't have a good relationship with my family. That's something we're gonna touch upon. My family and I don't really see eye to eye on a lot of things. And she had a really tight family. You have 5 sisters.
There were 5 girls.
Or 5 girls, and she has 4 sisters.
Yes.
So in a very, very like tight community, they're very supportive of each other. And I was just like, this is interesting to me. And I just didn't know why. And I just, didn't have that support system. So they loved me.
They loved you because you didn't give a fuck. You did not even try. Like there were other people who I dated who were like trying really hard to fit in.
Okay, first of all, I didn't even try. That sounds
you did
mildly insulting.
I remember my mom coming over to your apartment, Kathmandu.
Yeah.
And you weren't wearing a shirt. And you slapped my ass in front of her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I mean. He was not trying to be like clean cut, proper, polite. He was authentically Jin.
Jesus.
And
I hate myself. These are the memories that I blocked out of my life. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
So that's why they like me.
I mean, part of the reason. I mean, I dated other people in college who were just extremely agreeable.
Yeah.
Who just, like,
Yeah. There's not much to kind of like.
I mean, you could tell you weren't really sure if it was authentic or they were just trying to fit in and please people. And
Right. And I had no idea how to fit in anywhere.
Yeah.
So all I had to do was just kind of, okay, I'm going to do this thing and hopefully people like me.
Somehow people did.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how I live my life. So anyway, we broke up, right? So kind of moving quickly through the story, we kind of dated off and on through college. And then we both
graduated.
we both discovered acting. And so she decided to move to New York. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but maybe I'll move to LA. And then we broke up, didn't talk for a while.
I was on tour with the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee national tour.
We get it. You sing. We get it.
I sing. I sang in a previous lifetime. And then I had to come back home for my sister's wedding.
Yes. This is the fateful part of the story, my friend. So listen in closely.
Yes. And I needed a ride from the airport to the wedding.
Okay. Let's also mix in the detail of the fact that I was also invited to her sister's wedding still, even though we were broken up. That's like kind of how, like me and your family still got along. I wasn't all of a sudden uninvited because we weren't dating.
Wait,
you know what I mean?
Did you go? Were you there?
Emotional damage.
I crushed. I was on the dance floor drunk and I fell
Oh,
on.
that's right. Sorry, I forgot.
I think he was still very small and I fell on him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wow, you just didn't even pay attention. Oh, wow.
Some things I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay, so I went to the wedding and I was like, I think it's the first time really seeing you since you had moved to New York from San Diego. It had been months at least. It had been at least 6 months.
Because we also met up in Anaheim when I was where the cast went to Disneyland.
No, but wasn't the tour after the wedding? Oh, no, it was mid-tour.
Yeah. She literally, thank you, best friend, for changing the date to coincide when I was allowed to leave tour. So they changed the date of their wedding so that I could be there.
Oh, crazy. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I went to the wedding and I was just kind of like, I lived in Mar Vista, which is pretty close to LAX, on the west side. It's like, hey, do you need a ride to the airport tomorrow?
Said that?
I invited you. No, I invited you because I was like strategically like, oh, I would like to see her again with my ulterior motives. Anyway, yeah. So there's some discrepancy there on the details, but yeah, basically she needed a ride, and then I was like, well, you should just stay over at my place because I live like 10 minutes away from the airport, and she agreed, and then nothing happened, and then I drove her to the airport the next morning, and that was the end of the story. And
in an alternate universe,
but not this one, I did drive her to the airport the next morning, and then.
Then a few weeks later, when I was on tour in Phoenix, I fell asleep.
The butthole of America. I don't know if it is. I didn't like
Phoenix.
That.
I did not say that.
Listen, I went to Phoenix one time and it was not a great experience.
I had a great experience.
Yeah, great. I didn't. I was walking around and a big lifted truck drove by and they said, "Chink," and I said, "Ooh." Oh, it was so fast, and I was just like, I'm not even Chinese. I couldn't even say anything because the truck was already going. It's like I'm Korean. So that was my experience with Phoenix, Arizona. Fuck you. All right, great. So now you were on tour. You were now at the Butthole of America, Phoenix, Arizona. Sorry.
Long story short, I felt sick. Something was wrong with me, and then I walked a very long way to the nearest drugstore, like Juno.
Oh my god.
Juno walked to.
Wait, did you walk by yourself?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had a friend, my roommate.
Oh, okay.
She was the only one who knew at the time what was going on, and the test came back
negative.
Positive.
I was wrong on that one.
I called them and I was like, "Guess what? Pregnant. So that means we're gonna get married, right?"
And I said, "Good luck with that." Click. In an alternate universe. Just kidding. I said, "Hey, oh, this is, oh, wow. Okay, whatever you want to do, I'll support your decision. In the back of my head, I'm like, should probably get a Schmish Martian.
So glad we didn't. I didn't.
Yeah.
Because our homeboy is pretty cool.
Yeah. We got a good kid.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got married shortly thereafter.
Yeah, because her grandfather,
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He died last year. Rest in peace. Said during one, during our announcement, we announced to the family because at this point that Zandy had decided to keep the kid, and I said, okay, cool, I'm here for you. I didn't know in what capacity I would be, but when her grandfather sat us down at Christmas gathering and told us, your child will be born out of wedlock. He will burn in the fires of hell.
No, he didn't say that. He said cursed.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Because that's so much better.
Fornicated
outside of wedlock. He would be cursed. And in my 20 mid-something mind, I was like, oh, God.
We don't want that. Can't have that.
No. I don't like having cursed.
Let's go get
babies.
married.
Yeah. Let's go get married. So we put together a
backyard wedding.
Yeah, but it was a very beautiful backyard wedding.
Thank you, Tita Chris.
Yes, that was in San Diego, actually. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, we did that. Then got married, moved to LA at my old apartment. Then we found a place of our own. Then
2 years later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh, stage 3. I thought it was stage 4.
3.
God, so it wasn't even that serious. Jokes. It's jokes. We're good now. Stage 3. Okay, yeah, stage 3 breast cancer, and it was tough.
I'm alive.
She's alive. She's not a ghost. Yeah, I career wise, I had chosen to be an actor, and so I was, serving a lot on the side and going through my journey. It was hard for me to be there for you, way that I should have been.
It's hard when you are a partner of someone who is diagnosed with cancer. Oftentimes you feel helpless.
1.5-year-old son,
right?
And we were basically trading off. Like, she'd work during the day, I would take care of Maxwell, and then I would go to work at night. She'd take care of him at night, and basically, we had this sort of. So the marriage too was just out of a lot of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And once breast cancer got diagnosed, she was going through treatments, and I was trying to work because that was, in my mind, what I could do to keep the, roof over our head. And so I wasn't present a lot, in terms of being able to be a caretaker. And then
I moved out.
And then she moved out. Yeah.
Separated after, it was like maybe a day or two before our 3rd year anniversary.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Something like that. It was like 3rd.
So then I moved in with my sister and brother-in-law.
And from that point on, like, things didn't go well. And then this.
We also live in Burbank with.
Yeah, that's true. Her cousin. Oh yeah, that was after. Yeah. So things kind of, treatment wise, she kind of went through a thing, and she was in remission. And then you moved to Burbank with your cousin, and she.
And then I started dating again.
Yeah. That was super great for me.
Yeah.
That made me feel so good.
We broke up in April, May, June, July, August. 5 months later, I met somebody. I met.
Yep. We're using real names?
The father of my daughter.
Yes.
So then I moved in with him.
Uh-huh.
We said Maxwell's name. We said.
I didn't say. Oh yeah.
You said.
You're right. I'm. We're establishing standards here. But listen.
Yeah. Then I was in a really serious relationship and moved really quickly.
Very quickly. And then all of a sudden she was pregnant again, and I was like,
yeah.
Bitch. And the funny thing is, at that point, I think I was trying to figure out, how to be there for my son, at least, even if I wasn't going to be able to be the live-in father. So I moved from Mar Vista, prime location, to the Valley, so I could be, by Burbank and close to the family. Then I broke my leg on vacation, which sucked. I broke my right femur in 4 places.
Like right after I took you off of my insurance.
Yeah. And I actually, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, I broke my leg. I was kind of, still in the pattern of picking up Max from school and whatever. And then this one decides that her and her partner are going to move back to the West Side.
Mm-hmm.
And I was subsequently stuck in the Valley for about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows anything about the Valley,
it's the best.
It's so shitty.
I grew up in the Valley.
I mean, shout out to anyone that lives there. Good for you. Like, that's awesome. But it wasn't for me. It was not for me. So that was awesome.
I feel like, yeah, you're definitely a West Sider.
Yeah.
That's where we started out.
Yeah.
In Mar Vista.
Yeah, Mar Vista. And it's so funny. Moving back to the West Side in the last few years, I'm like, that used to be the ghetto. That used to be shit. You can get a 1-bedroom apartment there for like under $1,000. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, like, I drove down Venice Boulevard through Mar Vista, and there are dog bakeries.
I know. It's so...
It used to just be the public library.
Trendy.
Like a hardware store and a bunch of homeless people.
It's so super trendy.
And now there's dog bakeries and like bike shops and bars and all this stuff. And I'm like, come on, man. And it's impossible. It's like so expensive to live in LA.
Right.
But anyway, we digress.
We digress. So I was in that relationship for a good 8 years. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful daughter.
Yes.
Love her to death. Yeah.
And recently, then within the last over a year.
It's been over a year now?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow. It's been a year and 3-4 months. So yeah. Yeah, so I'm out of that now.
Yeah.
And we're doing great also great co-parents.
Yes. And that's great.
But this podcast is about us as well.
Yeah. So anyway, there was some difficulties. I think co-parenting. I think that was kind of the longest period of difficulties between the three of us. And now that you're out of that marriage for the last year and 3 months, we're co-parenting again. We're kind of like figuring things out in terms of our friendship as well, which is awesome because I'm able to now hang out with my son whenever I want. So now, we're talking about a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of topics.
Healing from a lot of things.
Healing. That's one of the main topics.
And that's the reason we decided to do this podcast, because a couple of times he came over to hang out with Max. We ended up talking after he went to bed, and we had a lot that was not resolved and wasn't healed because we hadn't ever talked about it.
We were never allowed to talk about period. Yeah. I mean, there's some details there. Okay, so just to give you an idea of how difficult things were to communicate with the mother of my firstborn and only born, actually, and my son, I was not allowed to communicate with Zandy unless I looped in him, her new husband, on every text thread and email or communication. And I was like, that's such a strangely limiting and also slightly invasive, actually very invasive sort of, authority to put on us. So that was a lot of things that I had to deal with, in terms of being able to co-parent. And I'm finally glad we're able to
right. And to be clear, I was on board with those things.
Yeah.
I was very much on board with being a united front and parenting as, this team and
with your team, like the new team. Yeah.
Right. At the same time, struggling with trying to
not take sides.
Yeah. And make it all about. That was really taxing on me because a lot of our fights had to do with about you.
Yes.
And so, and again, I just want to say, because I eventually probably might see this, he may or might not.
Yeah. And I also just want to say, initially, when I was about to say stepping outside of our marriage, because technically we were still married. Our divorce wasn't finalized. Okay, I'm gonna say that
we were separated
when she was stepping out of our marriage.
Oh my
God. Yeah.
This
is why I'm difficult. This is why I'm difficult because I did make things difficult. I was, schedule wise all over the place. I wasn't the most communicative. I wasn't the most available.
Why? Because you're pursuing acting.
No, because I was emotionally unavailable, scarred, and I went through a lot of damage,
too.
and I did not know how to handle any sort of chaos in my life.
That too.
But also what you just said. So yeah.
Auditions.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. It's funny you say that because back then I wasn't auditioning. Like what I'm doing now in my career, I'm auditioning. Back then I was like barely auditioning. I just was not able to process and handle a lot of the things that were going on.
Cool. The truth comes out.
Yeah. So there was, this is why we're doing this podcast, because there is not one side. there's not only one side. And if anybody wants to hear about two people that are working through the sides and discussing things that, like, maybe cause us pain, there's still probably a lot of things that we haven't discussed that we're excited to discuss. And we're finally both in a mental place where we want to.
Yep.
And so that's, kind of the journey here.
Right. That's why you should keep listening.
Yeah.
That's why we invite you to keep listening, because we're on this journey of healing. And part of that is sharing our story. And maybe if you're going through something like this, it might give you some hope that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that you can still be friends with your ex, with your co-parent, and you can do it in a healthy way, and you can create boundaries for each other. I mean, like, he has a partner.
Yes.
And
I love her. 3 years. Yeah.
And it's great. We're friends, and we can call each other. We can hang out together. We can spend a holiday together.
Yeah.
We can celebrate birthdays together.
Yeah. And it's something that is nice to have, that like openness and support. It's about the support and knowing that you have people, even the most unlikely in your life, that are willing to, cheer for you, and be there for you. It's not easy. We're going to have difficulties going forward, because that's, people, conflict, that's how you grow. But at the end of the day, I think the reason we're doing this too is because we want to approach everything from a place of love,
compassion
and empathy. And there are good things that are going to be difficult and wrong, and you might feel a certain way, but finding a place to be able to discuss it,
right,
is the most important thing.
So some of the things that are in store for this podcast for you as a listener,
yes,
are topics of divorce. What's that like?
Yeah.
What does that even entail? Co-parenting, obviously.
Absolutely.
Infidelity.
Oh, that one's a juicy one. And it's not gonna be what you think. It's gonna be.
What do they think? How do you even know what they think?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay.
People think things, and it's not gonna be anything like they think.
My life's a movie. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. My life is like a short film, like a bunch of them, because they take so many different turns and twists, and they're not in the same genre.
Maybe sometimes mine is horror. Like one of those like sagas, like on TV, that it's like an extended movie. What do you call those?
What, like limited series or something?
Something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, mine's a bunch of shitty short films with bad audio, but it's interesting. It's like early Robert Rodriguez films. It's just going to be like, all kinds of interesting stuff happening. That's going to be my story.
We're also going to be talking about the Asian American experience, because you're Korean.
Yes.
And I'm Filipino.
I was actually born in Korea. Korean is my second language. She's born in Hollywood. She's an American, but she's a Filipino American.
That's right. And we're going to be talking about cancer.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That was a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
And your career,
acting wise,
and also my career,
and yeah, musically, being creatives in a uncreative or what is it like? It doesn't curate creativity, life, just in general, how hard it is. Oh, dating is gonna be a huge one. Oh my god, she's finally on the date, because she didn't really date after me. She just kind of got married. I dated, like, I kind of,
I were like, great,
nice to meet you. We're married.
Go.
Yeah.
Let's move in and have a baby.
Bought a house together. It's the whole thing.
Yes.
And she's now newly on the dating scene.
I don't know
in
what's
2022 post COVID on apps, and it's like, it's not normal. Like, I don't envy her at all, and that's gonna be a whole segment, because I would love to hear all the juicy things, and I want to help lift you up. I want to help you find someone.
Yeah, it's exhausting. It's so weird. We not only is it like all online, but then we're also coming out of a pandemic. So people are like, how do you even interact?
Yeah.
How do you go out with each other?
Yeah.
Obviously now things are slowing down in terms of COVID and the cases. So you can go out now, which is super weird for me.
Yeah. But like, you see someone wearing or not wearing a mask in a public space, and like, you're triggered literally one way or the other. You know what I mean?
One of the first questions I ask is, are you vaccinated?
Yeah.
If not, peace.
Yeah.
That's just me, y'all. I know there's different opinions out there, and mine is the correct one. So,
yeah, okay. Yeah.
And we also, just talking about things that we're learning today,
Mhm.
right? About ourselves, about each other, about being parents, about raising a middle schooler
Yeah.
who's
Oh my
going through
God.
puberty.
And he had his first year of middle school was online school.
Mm-hmm.
That was real interesting, which, I think for better or worse, it helped him kind of at least work through the workload that he got. Oh my God, kids have so much homework these days.
Mm-hmm.
His backpack is so
Oh my God.
heavy.
I can't even carry it. It's over 16 pounds.
Oh my God.
So
my
yeah.
Gus.
So that is, we used to be married.
Mm-hmm.
We used to be married.
We used to be married.
Yeah.
That's very fucking true. And we still have a kid together.
Yeah, we still do. That did not change.
Not disappear after we separated. Like he still exists. He's alive.
Right. But what's unique about our experience is that we're still friends and we're still working through this together in a really healthy, amicable way. Yeah. And we hope that you find that interesting.
Yeah, hope come along for the journey. It's pretty great. So tune in.
Thanks for listening to our first episode. And
what do we have a sign off?
We do. Wait, open your thing.
Okay.
In the meantime, I'll just smile at the camera.
All right. This one. Well, the first one, okay? Today will be thanks for listening.
And remember, it's not always about you.
It's about us. Yeah.
Peace.